All right. Are we live? I think we're live. I don't know. We might be live.
I'm alive. Memorex.
You're live. I might be live. We're kind of live. So, welcome to On Time Hit or Miss. I'm your host, Night Strike, and I've got an interesting panel with me this evening. We're jumping straight in because there's a lot of stuff to talk about. We might get through it really fast. We might not. But either way, we're going to get through it, period. So we'll introduce who we got. If more people jump in and hang out with us, that's great. If more people don't jump in and hang out with us, it's going to be a fast show. Otherwise, let's introduce who we have right now and get through it. First up, we've got everyone's favorite Army medic. We got Nighthawk Medic.
Hey, brother. Thanks for having me on board. Good to be here.
Yep, thanks for jumping in. We've got everyone's favorite teachers. Teaching teacher. We got Travis P11.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I appreciate the invite, man. Thanks a lot. It's good to be here.
Yep.
Right on.
Last and not least, we got a latecomer here. We got Artisan Tony. What's going on, Tony? You're in it. You're in it the last minute.
I just barely made it.
You just barely made it.
Safe.
Safe. So
I'd write him a hall pass if I had to, though.
You already did. He came with one already written.
Every week.
I like that short skirt you wear.
I have no idea where that came from.
I thought you were trying to bribe.
Right now,
I thought you were trying to bribe me, or you were saying I had to bribe you or something.
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
No. But
I got a weird vibe out of that. I'll write you a hall pass.
He's a teacher. That's why he said that.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Well, no, I was just trying to cover for you because you're like 30 seconds late. So
yeah,
we're trying to help you out here a little bit.
I'm just kidding. Good Lord.
All right, I got you.
All right. So we got a couple topics to talk about tonight, but Nighthawk was raring with a topic, before we started. So I figured I'd let him, field his topic, and we'll talk about it and then move on.
I listened to the admin to the President of the United States use a military term, strike forces, in reference to getting everybody in the United States immunized. And I just kind of wondered if anybody else's blood ran cold when I heard that they were deploying strike forces.
Well, it's not spelled with a Y, it's spelled with an I, so it's actually no big deal. It's not the same thing.
Right. We had a very specific way of using the term strike force when I was in the service. And it's a really super weird thing for the admin to Biden. If Biden said it, he's nuttier than squirrel turds. I get it, right? But the fact that it came from his reasonably competent, or at least non-Cecil admin, seems to me like a very specific and aggressive term to use in regards to unvaccinated Americans. Anybody else have any thoughts on that?
It bothers me, but I guess if his context is, this is an attack on the virus, and then everything's got some sort of strategic nomenclature to it. But it is a bit terrifying, yes. But yeah.
Well, are we sure the aide wasn't just regurgitating what old man Biden, who's off his meds, was saying?
Well, I'm not.
Can we be 100% sure?
I'm not sure that man says anything on his own anyway, by his own admission.
Yeah, we're gonna have to circle back to that one, I think.
Yeah, it feels like we're opening up a separate topic because he said multiple times that he was only allowed to say what they told him to say. So. I'm the kind of guy that when you say something that is potentially disastrous for you, I take you at your face value, because people that are normal and healthy do not say things that are bad for them intentionally. So case in point, if you come to me and say I might hurt myself, I take that at face value, and I take action to prevent you from hurting yourself, whether it be immediately restraining you, contacting law enforcement, contacting members of the medical community, somebody to help prevent you from doing that. Because you've come to me and you've said something that is particularly bad for you, right? That is not positive for you, and that's not a normal behavior for normal, healthy people. So when somebody comes to me and says, I'm going to send a strike force to your house to have you vaccinated, or some other vague term version of that, I kind of take them at their word, because that's not a particularly good look for them. See what I'm saying?
I agree.
No one's arguing on this point. It's just, I was just playing the devil's advocate that, Biden said something, used the wrong term like he normally does, and someone actually repeated it.
Well, Biden didn't actually use the term strike force. Only his admin did.
You're going at this in reverse now, Strike. The playbook is there, okay? They're all trying to play by the same playbook. It's not that Biden said something and someone's trying to regurgitate it. Biden's trying to remember what's in the playbook.
No, Tony, you're half right there. Biden's not only trying to remember what's in the playbook, but where he's placed it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get that straight.
Yeah.
but yeah, okay, you got me there. So, yeah, I don't know, Medic. As far as that term, it does make me worry what they're going to do. But at the same time, short of replacing all the tranquilizer guns with, vaccination vials in the tranquilizer guns, they're not going to vaccinate everybody in the country forcefully.
Well, they use the term targeted communities or something.
They did targeted communities.
Guess who's going to be targeted?
Well, see, so I'm not an anti-vaxxer, right? I have every vaccination that was ever offered to me, including the ones that the United States Army gave me.
I was going to say the ones that were forced on you.
Right, to take.
You were
smallpox, and all those type things. We took all of those vaccinations. Diphtheria, yeah, every one of those. Yeah. So, but I can tell you right now that I have never felt like I would be threatened, despite being a heart patient, by COVID. So I've never received the vaccination, and to date have never contracted COVID.
I contracted it, but I got over it. I got through it. So I mean, I may have taken a small hiatus to get over it, but I powered on through it. So if I can get through it, I mean,
different people. But I just, I find a very aggressive approach to this. So we're talking about the difference between, hey, we need to hit critical mass with vaccinations. And now we're talking about using a highly aggressive language currently, right? It's just language. But again, I believe when people tell me something that's bad for them, because it requires me to potentially intervene to help them out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we've moved on to language that says, because you're not vaccinated, we potentially will send a strike force to your house to do some unknown thing. So they haven't defined what that thing is. So does the strike force arrive at your house and ask you politely if you should be vaccinated? Or by dictionary definition, does an armed force equipped to deliver a strong offensive or retaliatory blow compel you in some other means to receive your vaccination?
Or are they just trying to go into those states with the highest numbers of COVID people because it's making them lose-faced with their goal, which was the 75% vaccination by now, essentially?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not putting anything past this administration or, but I'm just saying,
Yeah, the places in my state where they didn't pay $4,700 for vaccination or for COVID diagnosis don't have a number. The places where they paid $4,700 for the COVID diagnosis have a number. So how is that determined, right? So most of North and South Dakota probably didn't get vaccinated. And ultimately, a lot of those places probably don't really have a number because they didn't have a lot of federally funded hospitals there.
Yeah.
So it just kind of, it got the cockles up a little bit. It made me think, where are we when that type of language, first of all, is just ignored, right? So
the door-to-door thing was a bit extreme, I think.
Yeah.
Who was that?
Yeah,
Psaki?
I mean-
Didn't Psaki say that? Or was she repeating?
Yeah, well, he said it, Biden said it, and then she repeated it. We intend to go neighborhood by neighborhood, community by community, and door to door. So,
But that's what I'm saying. These are talking points. Yeah, and they do mean something. They don't make the bullet list, and they don't get repeated over and over if they don't mean anything.
Right.
Just seems a little odd to me. What community and how are they selected? What will be the decision that is made? So if you arrive at my door and I do not allow you to give me a vaccination, am I killed? Am I given a star?
You can learn the definition of strike. Really quick.
Yeah, right. Is it Waco?
You're going to be taken out in front of center court of the town and being beaten by a wooden stick.
Right, or do I just go on another list? Right, the fact that I've had
You gotta wear an armband.
Yeah.
I imagine so. The base of my religion is Judaism, so my people understand how that plays out.
Well, that was my underlying comment, I guess.
I think we better stop right there before we go any deeper.
Are we offending Matt Hawk?
No, not even remotely.
No,
the Jewish people of all people should know.
Warsaw saying at Night Strike, it's like in Star Wars Episode 3, when the people of the Republic gave up their own freedoms for the safety of the Galactic Empire. Yet they were praising the idea, but then regretted it.
Did we really need a movie to demonstrate that?
Well,
I feel like there's a historical reference somewhere.
I feel like we're in second grade.
Warsaw, I ask you this. Which senator is the one that proposed we use the Grand Army of the Republic, the clone troopers? Which senator do we blame that one on?
Wait a minute. We have a teacher here. Travis, can you maybe reference something that happened in real life that would be a good reference here?
God, this is kind of.
I just wanted to say about the COVID thing. My best friend has contracted COVID, and he's been in the hospital since April 14th. He has not been able to get out.
That's terrible. That's awful. I'm sorry.
And
how old is he?
I don't know how he must have got it through work, because he works with the city's security section with the police department, and he works at the airport. They have him there, so I don't know. I guess he got it there or something, but he's not going to be let go. He won't be discharged unless 25 is able to breathe normally through his lungs, able to hold oxygen, stuff. So he has to, like right now, doing breathing exercises and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
And I keep talking to him, hey dude, so how's it going? Oh, getting better, but yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah,
and I'm just checking my messages, and he texted me April 14th. So he's been in the hospital since April 14th, man.
Jason Stewart says if you don't get vaccinated, it will hurt your social credits. Yeah, like that's become a thing yet. New York Outcast says they will force New Hampshire to drive an old Ford Fiesta. Ooh. Ooh.
I'd rather die. Okay.
And the thing is, I asked my friend, did you get vaccinated or anything yet? He goes, no, I was about to, but just didn't get a chance. So,
well, we know for a fact, and they've even said that the vaccination doesn't stop you from catching it.
No, it just helps you get over it a little bit better than if you.
Armdape says logistically impossible to go door to door. There will be 10 other variants out before they even get halfway through their list.
Well, if you can go all the way through Germany in 1939,
Yeah, but they weren't vaccinating.
Well, but hang on. We're assuming that they're going to be vaccinating.
I mean, if we're talking about Germany in 1939, euthanasia is different than vaccination.
Well, you see, that's not the point. The point is to reprimand you, not to vaccinate you.
Yeah.
Or to control you, not to.
Well, I think the goal is fear, which is actually why I brought it up. So they used a very aggressive and militaristic term to label the concept of people traveling around and going door to door and house to house to strike fear. Our current administration's primary methodology for delivering vaccinations to the public is to threaten them with a strike force.
Okay, guys, listen to this. This is the greatest reference I've heard all night. Jason Stewart says they can't use the Grand Army of the Republic. Once they land, the country might flip into the ocean.
I don't understand.
The Georgia senator that says we can't have more troops
The Guam,
on Guam, otherwise it would capsize.
On Guam.
Oh, yeah, I remember now.
If you land the Millennium Falcon on Guam, it's going to flip over.
Flip over, yeah, I remember. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. That was good, Jason.
Like
That's
that.
good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was Armed Ape saying? What was Germany's population total landmass in 1939? No chance of pulling it off.
So Armed Ape, I think. So here's the problem: is everybody keeps thinking that bad guys have to have a uniform. Germany didn't fall because there were so many bad guys that they could spread them all over the country. Germany fell because next door neighbor turned on next door neighbor, and kid turned on mother and father. The people of Germany became so afraid of the penalty for not turning the other person in that they turned the other person in. You don't have to have an army. There's already an army in place.
Well, what if I want an army?
Well, you might be able to come up with one. How many people were arrested by police officers when somebody reported them for not wearing a mask?
I want a peaceful army.
Yeah.
If the answer is more than one, then you know exactly what people will do under this scenario.
See, the thing that I kind of find it funny is that a lot of other places, like outside of, like, say, my town, as an example, is because here there was no. I never saw anybody. Like, you go in there, you go to a store, mask. You need to require to have a mask, and people would get it. Oh, I forgot it. They go into the car and they get it. And they go back into the store. No fighting and stuff, right? No yelling or whatever. Why do I have to wear a mask and stuff? And then you see all these videos of people, here in Louisiana, or over here in California, or here in Florida, everybody, yelling their discomfort of not wanting to wear a mask and stuff like that. And I'm kind of like, well, out here, I don't see anybody complaining and stuff. Though one place I know, they did have law enforcement in some grocery stores where they would say you need to have a mask, and then they say, "Oh, okay," and then they would go get it and put it on, and they would go into the store and stuff like that. But not every place had law enforcement,
Alex,
to require you to tell you, "Hey, you need to wear a mask if you're going to go in," stuff like that. And it was hilarious because all in the bigger cities, that's where I see that people had their more complaints and stuff, that people went against the rules and stuff like that. Like, I'm not wearing a mask. Look, I'm even taking a picture, stuff like that,
Yeah, but
put it on social
George,
media.
what's the population of Brownsville?
Shit, I don't know, man. We're a bunch of people in here, man. We're the biggest border town in the valley. Like I would say, man, if we were to be at a map, our town would be 4 pages, while every other one has either a page.
182,000.
I didn't get it. What's the population of Brownsville?
182K.
Okay, my town is about 20,000. My city is about 20,000. So, yeah, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people to try and forcibly vaccinate, isn't it, Nighthawk?
It's a bunch of people, but again, they don't have to get an army. They just have to convince half of us that the other half are wrong.
Well,
And
I mean,
we'll turn each other in
yeah.
hand over fist.
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean, look what they were doing in the news. If you vaccinate, you will be eligible to win this much prize money, or like a lotto, type deal. Or they were doing like, we can give you like tickets to go here, and this is. They were always giving these incentives, so you can get vaccinated. And I'm kind of like, my God, man, they're not even doing that here. But if they're doing this in, say, Chicago, that they're giving you big incentives to get vaccinated. That's kind of funny, It's just weird that's going on. And I understand what you're talking about, the whole thing about, we could turn on each other because we're not getting vaccinated or whatever and stuff like that. If somebody chooses not to, and then there's other people saying, well, I'm vaccinated, and then how come you don't get vaccinated? Because I don't want to. And then, then there's the whole argument, they start getting after each other and, pointing fingers and whatever, stuff, calling the police. And
well, I'm just saying, if you're not a little alarmed by this and you haven't already contacted your leadership locally to say the next time the president feels like threatening American citizens, maybe he should have a reconsideration. And maybe you guys should mention the 25th Amendment, because we're going to get Kamala anyway. So we might as well start it under our own terms. Encourage that type of behavior. Look, man, they've been talking about 25th Amendmenting his butt since he got into office. That's
before he even got into office.
Yeah, that was predetermined. Nancy Pelosi was out there reminding everybody about the 25th Amendment.
Yeah.
So I just, like I said, my goal is not to be an alarmist, but rather to make everybody think. And I find that language alarming. All right, dropping the subject.
I mean, it's the same thing like when he was talking about we're about having our AR-15s and stuff. Oh, we'll send you F-15s and nuclear missiles against you guys and stuff. It's like, what the heck? Why is this guy saying this stuff?
No, they said you'd have to use nukes and F-15s in order to fight the United States government.
So, that's going to take. Why can't we have our automatic weapons then? If it's going to take F-15s and nukes, then what harm is?
What harm is
I'm just saying. Well, the NFA has to exist for the ATF to start a registry. So if the NFA goes away,
the AFT.
Yeah,
The AFT.
The AT. Yeah, I know.
The MTV.
Right, the MTV.
The ATM.
Ooh, Travis. But yeah, if you're gonna have a registration, you need the ATF. They've got what? I think it's up to 20 or 30 trailers full of everybody's 4473s sitting outside their headquarters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
bunches and bunches.
Someone needs to burn that trailer.
There's like 30 of them or something now.
They'd love that. Someone burning all those trailers.
And they all got struck by lightning by all these thunderstorms we've been having.
It was crazy. My boat sank. But anyway, that was my topic.
My boat sank with all those 4473s
aboard. Now we're required to have flotation devices on our weapons.
On our 4473s. No. So, Travis, do you have a topic you want to go over tonight? While we're doing the elective topics right now.
No, I don't have anything in particular, but just what you got lined up for tonight looks like it's pretty decent. So I'm good with that.
Yeah, I don't know which one to start with first. Which one do you want to go over first?
Let's get those short-barreled shotguns off the NFA, man.
All right, All right. So there's a bill that's been introduced into the government to remove short-barrel shotguns from the NFA. Now, granted, remember the Democrats have the Senate, the House, and the presidency, so it's got a snowball's chance. But again, it's been filed. On July 1st, Representative Jeff Duncan from South Carolina, all right, South Carolina, introduced the bill to remove short-barrel shotguns from the National Firearms Act. The intent of the bill is to remove the burdensome $200 tax and registration scheme required to own and possess such firearms. While we're being attacked by the Biden-Harris administration and anti-freedom caucus in the way of draconian policies being considered, we do have several lawmakers that aim to protect our civil rights. From Duncan's press release, in response to the Biden administration's proposed rule regarding pistol stabilizing braces, Congressman Jeff Duncan introduced the No Frivolous Applications for Short-Barreled Shotguns and an NFA SBS Act.
This is the equivalent of a ant crawling up an elephant's butt with rape on its mind. This is absolute idiocy.
I know. But we're going over because
I got a question. What is his fetish with short barrel shotguns?
I don't know.
What I mean is, why is it
this specifically?
Yeah, why was it specifically that? I mean, was he going for like the low hanging fruit? Or
I think he's trying to go the FUD route first.
Well, here's the thing about this. Let's be honest for a minute. The only time you can't get a positive gun bill through is when the Republicans are in power. And the only time you have to defend your rights against tyranny is when the Democrats are in power. So I'm not sure what he's going for here.
Bump stocks.
Maybe Franklin Armory gave him a little payout or something to push this one.
Maybe.
So
it's any smoothbore firearm with a brace attached would be considered a short barrel shotgun.
Short barrel shotgun, yeah.
Stock or brace, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
this is what fascinates me. Instead of going after a big chunk of the law or the whole law itself, if we think it's like we make backroom doors saying, or deals, whatever, give me a little chunk here and there, and I don't know what's the other side of that deal. Isn't it? You don't think it's strange though that we're always trying to go after these? Oh, let's remove that requirement for that sticker on the back of your gun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of going for something bigger.
Well, that's what I said. I said, man. You can. The only time you can't get a positive gun law through is when Republicans are in power, and the only time you have to defend against your rights is when the Democrats are in power. So it doesn't seem to matter.
Yeah, so the legislation will remove short barrel shotguns from the NFA to allow short barrel shotguns to be treated as just any other shotgun, thus preventing the AFT from forcing otherwise law-abiding gun owners to destroy, register, or surrender their legally acquired pistol-braced firearms. H.R. 4312, the No Frivolous Applications for Short Barrel Shotguns Act, is poised to stave off the administration's attack from the rogue AFT. Duncan's announcement further explains the AFT's proposed rules specifically states that any smoothbore non-NFA firearm equipped with a stabilizing brace will automatically be considered a short-barreled shotgun, subjecting an entire class of firearms to overburdensome regulations with a stroke of a pen. Fortunately, Congress can remove any ambiguity from Biden's AFT, may take advantage of by removing short-barreled firearms from the NFA altogether. With well-known gun control activist David Chipman one step closer to his confirmation as head of the AFT, the time to stop Biden's anti-gun agenda is now, said Congressman Jeff Duncan. Provision of the law a law like this will truly be a slam Duncan. Wow, that whoever wrote this, that's pretty bad. The congressman is no stranger to looking at enhancing the rights of freedom-loving Americans. Formerly, Duncan has introduced the House version of the Hearing Protection Act, a bill that looks to remove the same onerous process from obtaining a firearm suppressor. One of the interesting things that came up in the release is how the NFA originally worked to usurp freedoms under the guise of public safety. We can see how often things turn into a bait and switch when proposals are made to the public. I'm not going to go over the rest of this, but again, does it have a snowball's chance in hell? I'm not going to say yes, but I'm not going to say no.
My point is that are we going to have a party if it passes? No, I mean it's okay. I mean, Am I going to go out and do something with my shotguns now? This
No.
bill it won't make any difference whether it's passed or not.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not getting ready to the NFA, you're not really doing anything. So,
yeah, that's my point. I mean, who cares if they, allow you to, take off a quarter inch of your.
Yeah.
What is going to be the next limit? Like, is it going to be 12 inches instead of 18? Or
I mean, why does he focus on just short-barreled shotguns instead of short-barreled weapons in general?
He's kissing your neck, so he doesn't have to buy you dinner before he screws you. Is what it is.
Well, that's probably what it is.
That's all it is.
It's almost like it's designed not to get support from either side, really, or from our side, because who cares? Why? Who wants to put effort into how many people is that going to affect on our end? I don't know.
I'm just tired of the appeasement, to be honest with you. I have nothing left for people that are not actually willing to take action, but rather are just interested in appeasement.
Right.
The left has made it abundantly clear that they consider us to be terrorists, that they consider us to be detriments upon society, that they consider us to be racists, that they consider us to be the worst versions of society that exist. And they make no beans about attacking us in any version of our lives and undermining everything we say, whether it be our religious beliefs or our spiritual beliefs or our personal beliefs. Every part of that. The goal is to eliminate it. And so when you have politicians that profess to exist on our side who are in the business of appeasement, all that sounds like is they just want to keep their heads above water until they get to choose what side of the throne they sit on. That's all that sounds like.
Mm-hmm. But again, it was news, so I figured we'd go over it. I mean, do I think it's going to pass? No. But again, hey, it's news. We went over it. Travis, which one do you want to go over next?
I like the next one, and that's just because John Petrolino is a pretty cool guy in the 2A crowd. So,
which one was that?
The resolution introduced declaring Biden's gun control agenda unconstitutional.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Don't you have to have something more specific than just his gun control agenda?
Yeah.
If you're going to make something unconstitutional?
Yeah.
There's got to be something more specific, I think.
We're currently dealing with this generation's version of the NFA, the Gun Control Act, the 86 amendments to the NFA, the 1994 crime bill. There are administrative attacks coming from the ATF with their shenanigans, and we are dealing with the hostile to freedom Biden-Harris administration. The United States dodged a bullet by having the sunset provisions of the fatal assault weapons ban. The Anti-Freedom Caucus is playing for keeps now and will do anything in their power to cripple the private citizens' ability to keep and bear arms. There are friendly forces in the halls of Congress, and we need to acknowledge that too. All right. In May, Representative Scott Desjardins.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Desjardins.
Yeah,
he's
introduced a resolution that explains what we already know. House Resolution 388 has a wordy title, but it says it all, expressing the sense of the House of Representatives that President Biden's gun policies are unconstitutional and should never be approved. Wow, that is a long title. Desjardins outlines quite clearly what all Americans, left, right, or center, should know. Unfortunately, due to big money and progressive politics, the notions and ideas within the resolution are not uniformly embraced by the population. We can gather some civil rights are more equal than others. From a press release, Representative Scott Desjardins said in a statement, the Biden administration has been on a power trip since assuming office in January. They believe the Constitution can be tossed to the side and that the rules do not apply to them. This has been made clear through numerous executive orders and the championing of legislative pandering to progressives. This resolution makes it clear politics that limit the freedoms guaranteed by the Second Amendment for law-abiding citizens will not stand. The attempt to limit your right to defend yourself is an egregious government overreach, which it is. He's not lying on that part. I mean, go figure. But Jay Gillet's statements are not exclusive of the Biden-Harris administration's quest to strip the citizens' from the Second Amendment civil liberties, as we see the team being hostile to anything freedom-related. Recent reports suggest the NSA under Biden's command has been spying on civilian journalists. Overreach is going to be a common word used when describing this dark time in American history. The text of the resolution will at minimum be entered into the rules and records of the country. Unfortunately, it may just stand as a statement of foreshadow and an I told you so from the text.
So let's be crystal clear about something for a moment here. The Biden administration is the least anti-gun group that we pay willingly every day. The companies that are in support of gun control number over 500 currently in the United States. They include Airbnb, the Amalgamated Bank, Bain Capital, Beyond Meat, Bloomberg LB, Brookfield Company, AT&T, Karma Credit, Dick's Sporting Goods, DoorDash, Ecolab, Evan Bright, Gap Incorporated, Impossible Foods, Interpublic, Kmart, Levi Strauss, Lyft, on and on and on and on and on. There's a list of 500 of these companies that specifically support gun control in the United States. So people like this, if we don't give them large amounts of money to support their ideals, they're going to stop doing it. If just the first 10 companies that I mentioned on that list gave money consistently to an anti-gun politician, that would be the only thing that politician would do. That's it. That's it. If they started giving money to a Republican politician who was pro-gun today, tomorrow he would be an anti-gunner. So remember a couple of weeks ago when we talked about during the revolution, 75% plus of the revolution consisted of fundraising?
Yeah. So
we need to start fundraising.
I got an email that I want to share from everyone with everyone. It's from our good friend New York Outcast. Let's check this email out.
Does he know you're going to share it?
He knows now. He says, I couldn't jack an F-15, but I can get you this cheaper if you're interested. Cash only. Wow. Yeah. That's definitely an offer I can refuse.
There's one of those parked outside of the Air Reserve Center here in Chattanooga.
Yeah. For anyone that can't see it, I'll put it. I have no idea what it is, but it's old.
So, hey, you know the reserve centers on Bonnie Oaks?
Yeah.
Tony, there's one of those parked outside of the Air Corps place out there.
Wow.
It's not
an intruder, is it?
No, it's some type of trainer. I'm not sure.
It's weird. It's weird looking.
Let's see, Vietnam era jet.
Yeah.
No, Rob. I think I'm good. Thanks, anyways, Rob. Yeah, no, that was not private. Don't give me that.
He's private.
Yeah, he's totally messing with us. All right, so So where do we go from here? Where do you guys want to go? Should we go on another topic?
I don't know if my blood pressure can take anymore. I'm gonna have to chill out.
I don't know. Why don't we talk about California?
Wait. They still have gun shows? Is that actually a thing there?
Apparently,
How is that possible?
Air rifles.
California Democrats take aim at gun shows, if there are still gun shows in California. So, okay, today they're focusing on a California bill to ban gun shows from all state-owned property that could have a big impact not only on the Second Amendment rights of residents, but would chill the First Amendment rights of gun owners as well. Ooh, they're going for a twofer.
By the way, that's a T45 AC Goshawk or Goshawk.
I was doing the same thing. I was trying to find it.
The legislation known as SB 264 is scheduled for a hearing in the Assembly Public Safety Committee next week, and State Senate Senator Dave Min is busy stumping for the bill in advance of the expected markup. Min trots out every anti-gun canard that you could think of, including calling gun shows flea markets for firearms.
It's not the Super Saber.
Yeah.
It might be. Let's see, F100 Super.
Despite the fact that every individual purchasing a firearm at a gun show in state must go through a background check and a 10-day waiting period before they can take possession of their gun, only in California.
Our local gun shows, the police sit outside and write down your tag number as you come by.
Oh, I've never seen that. What are you talking about?
The last 3 I've gone to, there's been a cop car sitting out there taking down your tag number every time.
In targeting gun shows, Min isn't just aiming at curtailing illegal gun purchases, but is trying to stop gun owners from gathering together. Gun shows aren't just places where people can buy a gun, or at least start the process in California, but are valuable recruiting stations for Second Amendment organizations like the California Rifle and Pistol Association and Gun Owners of California. Block gun shows from taking place, and anti-gun politicians can make it much harder for these 2A groups to find the members and funds to push back on the state's unconstitutional attacks on the Second Amendment. Min makes it clear that his true objective isn't with gun shows, but with guns and gun ownership in general. Even if no illegal or unlicensed firearms or ghost guns were sold at gun shows, there's still a compelling case to end these shows on public property. Gun shows are held for one purpose: to sell as many guns as much ammunition as possible. Well, imagine that.
And malls are designed to sell as many pheromones and bad cell phones as possible. Take that.
And the occasional questionable burrito as well.
Yep.
Yes. And bad coffee.
And this has been deadly for California communities. Yeah, prove it. Prove it. Prove those criminals used legal firearms, because I'm going to bet every single one of those goddamn firearms was stolen from California law enforcement.
Stolen?
I was going to say bought from.
Question?
Possibly.
I feel like MS-13 probably has a much easier way than to go to a gun show to get a firearm.
That's what I'm saying. Although the Second Amendment protects rights to bear arms, it does not require California state's government to actively take part in distributing guns. We are facing a moral and economic crisis from gun violence, and it is long past time to get California out of the business of selling guns. SB 264 is our chance to draw a line in the sand and to say loudly and clearly that the great state of California will not profit from the sale of guns and contribute to the endless cycle of gun violence any longer.
The adjusted death rate in California was 3.4 per 1 million people gun deaths in the year 2020, making it the third lowest state in the union for gun deaths.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Yeah. if Min is serious about ensuring that California will not profit from the sale of guns, he shouldn't be trying to ban gun shows on state property. He should be trying to repel this tax on the sales of guns and ammunition. That, after all, brings in far more revenue to the state than renting out a county fairgrounds for a weekend.
The leading cause of death was heart disease.
Of course, it's more likely that Gavin Newsom would endorse Caitlyn Jenner for governor than Min and his anti-gun colleagues will truly divest the state from any profit on gun sales. They're willing to declare war on the Second Amendment and gun ownership, but while they're fighting their battles, they're still going to accept the tax revenue that comes from Californians exercising their Second Amendment rights. That's the end of it.
Screw those.
I don't
dirty
think it's
hippies.
the end of it.
Well, that's the end of that article.
I'm just kidding.
It may not
Man,
be
if they
the,
attack the fast food industry with that kind of gusto, because that's what's taking everybody out. You know, if that kind of
It
energy.
is.
yeah.
They might actually save people in their state.
I mean, if they went after El Pollo Loco as
In
hard as they were going after
Malburger.
guns, they would save everyone's cholesterol from dying of heart attacks.
ban the animal option at In-N-Out Burger because it kills more Americans every year than Tech 9.
You know.
I'm just saying cholesterol is actually genetic.
Right,
It's good old fashioned obesity.
that's
You want
genetic.
to
Listen,
target something,
and I'm not
Obesity.
fat. I'm just big boned.
and you want to be 100%
Husky.
honest. There are
Husky.
plenty of obese people who cook at home every
He's
night.
fluffy.
So you're going to have to attack people at the house to stop that. It's not
More
even.
striking. More
Yep,
striking.
I'm telling you,
Striking.
they've got the strike forces ready, right? Isn't that what they just told us?
STRYK.
Sir, put the donut and the chicken down.
Yep, that's right.
In that order.
Ooh.
All right, administer the carrot.
Oh God. Family Guy.
I don't want to go after this. I don't want to go over this last article, Travis. I've just had it. So, Travis, come up with something.
God, dude, I don't know what are we looking at here? Tucson's Second Amendment sanctuary opposition, really just about local gun control. Yeah, that's pretty much about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we could maybe talk about the madness that is the micro compact firearms that are being released right now, and if they're really necessary. I mean,
GX4 is a pretty good pistol, man.
I know. I mean,
What do you mean
Ruger just came out.
necessary?
Ruger just came
What
out
is
with the Max 380. You know, that's a new one. So, I don't know.
Okay,
Is
yeah,
smaller,
it's
smaller really
necessary.
better? Is the big question, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I'm going to say this. Aside from the Hellcat, which I was horribly disappointed in, I don't have one of these new Micro 9s that I haven't really enjoyed shooting. And the only reason I didn't like the Hellcat is I have a chicken wing connected to my thumb. And so the fact that it doesn't have adjustable back straps and is so fat on the corner is a problem for me.
Ooh, that's what we need. Adjustable backstrap Micro 9. You do that, then
Heck
you got it,
yeah,
man.
dude.
Then you got the corner on it right there. Taurus, you listening?
Yeah.
When you come out that optics cut version, then go ahead and make it
They
with the-
do. Taurus's GX4 has an adjustable backstrap, dude.
So
it does?
I got another
Yeah.
email. I got another email we're gonna go over.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Rob, get in the panel. Stop
So-
sending him emails. It's
So,
creepy.
Scott sent me an
Yeah.
email saying
Next thing to be doing is seeing more
pretty
code.
sure he's wrong on the jet.
Wait, go.
F9F Panther, although I could barely see the plane, so
Okay.
small.
So wait a minute. Go back to the
No.
other picture of the plane because that plane has fixed wing tanks.
Yeah,
and I
the
don't believe
cockpit-
that other Erica and the cockpit's different. Yeah.
cockpit looks different. It's like a double cockpit.
There's different style of nose, and there's no
And that has
air holes in the
intakes
nose.
on it in a different place. Show the other picture. Let's
All right.
do a comparison here.
Why can't we just
Somebody-
agree it's dead? Just go on with our lives.
There we go.
That's a late Vietnam era plane. And
That
I
was
was
early
wrong.
60s plane.
Early 60s? Okay, let's see.
I think so.
I think I'm wrong about the plane anyway, but it definitely wasn't that other plane.
You do it.
Let's see.
This looks like one of the first jets that we had.
The P-80 Shooting Star? No.
Yeah, the F9F, the Grumman F9F Panther. That's okay. Okay, I was wrong. I was wrong.
Slick wings.
40s to 50s. They retired it. It's 58. Yeah. Okay, so
I was
50s.
So it was in the 1950s. Let's see.
50s. That's the one that Scott sent. This one right here. I think that's.
That
I don't know.
The engines on it look like a Phantom's motors. So I'm wondering if it has the same motors as a Phantom on it. Somebody out there knows something about airplanes. Come
That's
on.
what I was thinking. Maybe it's a Phantom trainer.
Yeah, but it would have a nomenclature. The lineage of it looks like the T-45 trainer. So it's going to drive me nuts.
If it was like a crop duster, I could probably give you guys a lot more.
You'd be on point, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a Navy bird.
No, it's not.
Why don't we make a giveaway? The first person to email you with the correct answer is going to win a GunTube badge.
It says Air Force on it.
Does it say Air Force on it? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, any idiot with a stencil, right? Let's see. No, that's a Saab.
Sure, it's not an A6.
No, that is not an A6. Google an A6.
Yeah, intruder's what I said first, but I realized it wasn't.
Yeah, it looks like a T-45.
That's what I was going to say. That the Tiger or whatever. What is it?
The Goshawk.
The T-45.
Yeah, T-40. Look up the T-45 trainer.
Oh, I was thinking of the F5E.
F5E. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, we're totally not airplane people. There's somebody out in the audience right now who's like, "That's a blah blah blah."
No,
Right.
no, I know what that is.
What is it?
That's a Super Saber F100.
I said Super Saber
It's
before.
not. There's
Yes, it is. Look at the nose. Look at the nose. It's got that cone on the nose.
Okay,
That's what I
hang on.
said.
But he did. He said T100 Super Saber. Let me look at the engines.
But you're right. It doesn't look exactly.
That is not a Super Saber, dude.
Yeah. Well, that's why I backed off.
Yeah. That is not a Super Saber.
It looked, or I was thinking maybe it was like a Super Saber trainer or something.
Trainer, right?
F100 Super Saber.
It's not. I'm telling you.
Okay, well, I'm going to.
The Super Saber is a single-engined aircraft.
And you don't see multiple engines on there.
I think I see side by side, but I could be wrong.
No, you might see intakes, but that's all you can see.
Also, the Super Saber, so the horizontal stabilizer would be attached at the point of the engine. That plane is either T-tailed or look at a picture of the Super Saber's tail as compared to that. We wouldn't be able to see the nacelle without seeing the tail, the horizontal stabilizer.
Okay, all right. It's not the Super Saber, but it's close.
Come on, somebody out there in the audience.
Come on, guys.
It's
Another
not.
out there.
Scott says it's not the 45. I agree. I wonder what was before the 45. Let's see.
44.
U.S. jet trainers. Okay, let's go with the history. Jet trainer. United States. Here we go. Country of origin. Let's see. Skyhawk. Not a Skyhawk. Grumman Cougar. No. It's not a T-33. That was a P-80.
Oh, I think I know where it is.
It's not a training aircraft.
No, I know what it is. That's an F-101. Voodoo.
A Voodoo?
That's a Voodoo.
That's an EW plane. Let's see.
That's a Voodoo.
That is an F-101. Good job, sir.
That is definitely a hit for you, Night Strike. Definitely.
Yeah.
A hit.
So
You get the sticker.
Yep.
that's an
And now we
F-101.
know.
You
We
can
know
tell.
it's half the battle. Gee,
Look towards the rear of the engine. Okay.
Yep. That is
you see the top.
definitely an aircraft.
The top keeps going. You can see that from this side. That's an F-101 because
it's twin engine, just like I anticipated.
Yeah.
So the F-101, I guarantee you. Let's see if it used the same engines as the Phantom.
Nice.
Yeah.
The Rolls Royce.
No.
Nope, it did not. But boy, that's a motor. All right. This has been Night Strike's aircraft identification.
Listen, I went through all the aircraft used in Vietnam, and that one, the F-101, look, because he said in Vietnam era, and it looked Vietnam era, but it's just the way those wings were.
Well, the kind of twin engine with a T-tail, that type of design was sort of 1960s to 1970s. We kind of outgrew that a little later. You look into the 80s, then everything starts to look like a Tomcat. Just about every jet plane we made from 80 to 90 something had twin engines with flanking horizontal and vertical stabilizers.
But if you look at the F-101s in every picture, they've got the U.S. Air Force star right before the wings.
Right before the wings. That's nice.
That's how I identified it. I know. Night Strike used the stupidest reason. I know.
Dude, it's not how you get to the answer. This isn't a math class. I just made Travis cry a little inside.
Hey, man, math teachers ain't got nothing on me, bro.
That's true.
So, there we go. With that, I think we're done. I think we've accomplished a lot, and we've solved the world's problems this evening. So let's just go through the room, let everybody say their piece, and let's get out of here because we were on time tonight. Figure that one out.
Woo-hoo.
So, Nighthawk, you got anything you want to share? Any final words, wisdom, final thoughts?
Pay attention to when people say things that are bad for them. It usually means that they either need your help or intend to do bad things to you. You'll find me over on Odyssey. I will not be returning to YouTube, and I'll have new content out this week. Thanks for having me, buddy.
What is Odyssey? I've seen several people talk about that.
It's another YouTube type of platform. So,
yep.
All right. Travis, any words of wisdom? Any final thoughts? Any plugs?
Real quick, I've got some bad news. I will not be hosting an episode of Caliber Corner this Saturday, but we will be back. I'm sorry, man. You guys can all sleep in on Saturday. We will be back in a week. Good news, I did turn over 40,000 subscribers during this episode of Hit or Miss, which means that we will be giving away an Ivor Johnson 1911 soon, very, very soon.
Okay, I'm gonna have to jump into that giveaway.
Be watching for the announcement about the video. It's going to be pretty simple to enter it. I'm not going to require you to do a bunch of crazy subscription stuff and promotion stuff, but there's something you will have to do in order to be entered in the drawing. But it'll be coming soon.
Well, fine. I'll go and buy a Travis P11 T-shirt. I'll do it.
No, you have to buy anything. There won't be any cost at all. So it's just going to be. We'll get the video.
We'll have better chances of winning if we spend money on it.
Right.
It's 300 words.
It won't involve short skirts or anything like that. I promise you. It'll be wholesome, fun entertainment. So.
All right. Tony, final words of wisdom.
I've taken up enough of your time tonight.
No, please. If you got anything you want to leave us with, please.
I'm speechless.
You were speechless tonight, huh? All right.
Speechless.
Uh-oh. No, Scott, it's not a T-45.
It's too skinny to be.
Okay, you know what?
T-45 is the modern trainer. That's a 1970s model.
Yeah.
Scott is saying this is a T-45, and it looks nothing like the picture that was sent.
Scott says it's not a T-45. The inlets are all wrong. In chat.
Yeah.
The T-45 is a lot narrower. I don't think the wingspan anywhere near.
That's a T-45, and look, the U.S. Air Force symbol is not in the right place.
Well, there isn't one. That's a U.S. Navy symbol.
No. Anyways, and look at the cockpit. The cockpit's all wrong. So it's not a T-45. It's an F-101. All right. Anyways, so moving on.
Moving on.
George, final thoughts. Words of wisdom.
Viva la dia. Living for the day.
Okay. Okay. You know what, George? I'm gonna have to pry further. Give us one of those old Spanish proverbs.
Oh, Spanish proverb.
You know, the old Spanish saying, something your grandmother would tell you.
Oh God.
Pasta la vista, baby.
Oh, God.
No toques eso, te voy a tirar la chancla.
Okay, what's that mean?
Don't touch that. I'm going to throw the sandal at you.
Okay, we'll go with that. All right.
When the sandal flies, you best to duck.
All right. Guns and barbecue. You weaseled your way in.
Mm.
Yeah, I finally checked my spam folder. I was like, "Holy cow!"
Yeah. So
So
I'm only going to send links to people once, and if you don't check your spam folders, if you don't check your email, that's not my problem.
I know. And so I should probably check it more often. I had a bunch of stuff in there. Should go back and see what all I'm missing. Anyways, since I just kind of weaseled in at the end, instead of plugging stuff for myself, just make sure that you go check out everybody on the panel. Several of these guys have Patreons that could use some support. I just re-Patreoned to Nighthawk because I had to drop a few people a month or two ago, and now I was able to go back and get back on those. But I know Night Strike has one for GunTube as well as himself, Travis P11.
Yeah, I get no love. I get no love on the Night Strike one, but I don't really do much with it. I got to work on the Patreon stuff. It's just it's really hard to try and manage several Patreons at once.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I felt bad having to drop you in the first place, but things were
wasn't
tight.
making content. Yeah.
Let's say friggin'. But yeah, go check out George over on Instagram, South Texas AR guy. He's always doing good stuff. And Tony, I hate to be a jerk, but I don't really know any of your social media stuff. So if you have any.
Mine, it's all Artist and Tony, whatever it is. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah, his Instagram, it's got him as, his face is plastered over some sumo wrestler guy's face.
No, that's really me.
Is that you? I thought that was a sumo wrestler.
I was a sumo wrestler.
There you go.
I love by all Japanese women.
I didn't know this. Man, the things you find out on chats. Wow.
Well, the guy who I took when I was in my 20s, that's kind of an inside joke. I took Taekwondo from this guy named James Hobby. You might have seen him on the internet. He's from Chattanooga. You know, Nighthawk, you remember him? James Hobby?
Remember him, yeah.
Yeah, a friend of mine talked me into going, and we spent probably, I don't know, a couple of years. I got my green belt. But the guy loved the concept of sumo. So it was almost like he integrated almost like grappling, almost like jiu-jitsu or something. Sumo. I don't know how he did it, but it was weird because he'd have you grabbing your drawers and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, that's where
early on in when they first started out the UFC, a lot of the jiu-jitsu guys and so forth were fighting in that, and they didn't realize that the gi was actually a weapon. They were kicking people's butts with their uniforms. And so some of those, grabbing your drawers, et cetera, are highly handy skills.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. So you learn things. All right, guys. All I've got is check out Night Strike on Patreon if you like what I'm doing. If you want to see more content, check out GunTube on Patreon if you like what we're doing with GunTube. If not, just go visit guntube.org and watch some of the awesome videos that are posted there daily. So with that, we're done here. We're gonna move on. We're getting out of here. So You know, to quote George, "Vaya con Dios, mi amigo," and that's it. We're done. Stick a fork in her.
Shall not be infringed.
Adios, Alicia. Adios.
Give him the bird.
Punta Gatica.
Te amo, Felicia. Te amo.
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
Nice Rick has a crush on Jen Psaki.
What?
Nothing. Let's go back to that later.
El jefe es en la biblioteca.
La biblioteca está una hora atrás de la casa de Juan.
Sí, ¿dónde vive Juan?
No.
Meant not to make sense, though.
Mi amo es Nice Strike Juan.
Artesano Tony es muy guapo.
Mi lápiz es blanco.
Sí.
Muy bien.
Las cucarachas de los colors.
All right, let's go to Taco Bell and order Spanish and confuse the helper.
Yo tengo un perrito, se llama Pedro.
Oh God.
I would absolutely
amo Pedro.
love to have that capability to go to Taco Bell and order Mexican food in
And
Spanish.
they wouldn't know a darn thing.